people sometimes wonder, for example, what's the relationship between kind of LGBTQIA rainbow flag and globalism? Why are they hand in hand? It's the strangest thing, because globalism is like banks and world standards and, you know, like this kind of top
the
down.
entities that many in that movement were railing against
Yes.
in the 70s and 80s.
But that's because the more that you move towards idiosyncrasy and towards a kind of fragmented at the bottom, the more you need large institutions to protect us from each other and to protect us from the state. Now the state, before it was the state doing it, but now the state is dangerous, right? The nation is dangerous. Your tribal identity is dangerous. All these things are dangerous. We need to protect you from that. But then what that means is we need some large, huge structures that are going to be very invasive.
And it's the hallmark, of course, of every police state, of every totalitarian police state in particular, that it will target the family first and religious communities first. Religious communities in particular, because their political loyalty will always transcend any, as it were, earthly power. What can Christians today, how can Christians today recover a better, a richer, a more adequate grammar for making sense of suffering and evil?
You know, I think that we have to always remember. So once you
without spooking people with talk of the demonic and so on and so forth.
But what I mean is that this idea of the great chain of being, the most important part to understand is that this chain of being exists in every culture. It's really like in Hinduism and there is this sense of this chain of being. One of the different
graded reality, as it were.
But one of the differences you could say that Christianity brings is that we say that the nature of this chain of being is love. That it's not just a diminution, like you could think about it in a Platonic way. As you move away from the one, then things become less and less real and they become more and more illusion. They become less and less qualitative and more quantitative. But what Christians say is that that which holds all things together is love, and that the highest one goes down to the bottom of this whole structure and gathers it in love and brings it back up to the one. And so what that does is it in some way changes our way of understanding. It is actually the opposite of how we think of authoritarianism. The idea is that the leader is there to love those that are serving him. Obviously, it goes wrong all the time. We know that it goes wrong all the time, but at least the ideal is there.